Super. Thanks again, Ramya, for joining us as a mentor for the WIBL program. My first question to you, Ramya, is that what are some of the core values that you live by?
Hmm.
Yeah. And how do you really display them at the workplace?
Sure. Uh, First of all, thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to be part of this, Rahul. Um, the core values, though there are some tangibles and intangibles as well, to me, the core values from where I started my career to where I am right now, few things have stayed constant. One is bringing in a lot of humility to the role that I play. Uh, I think it goes a long way, especially when you're in a people manager role, when you're connecting to a lot of people and you're also a face of a brand or a company. So you need to be very well grounded and have a lot of humility. Second is integrity. There will always be times where you have to, balance between business, between people, balance between external scenarios to what people expect, also balance between high performers and people who are with the organization for a longer time. So, in the role of a leadership, I always say that it is the, intersection of a lot of contradictions that happen, but through the process as leaders you have to maintain your integrity. And third value that I very strongly believe in is always be curious. uh, the reason I say curious is, to me, I'm a strong believer that growth and comfort don't coexist. So, if you get comfortable in what you're doing, that's a trigger that something's not going right in your career. So, always stay curious as to what are your peers learning, how is the industry moving forward, how is a vision being strategized by your leaders. So, just go talk to people and all of those. And wherever I'm able to make a small impact in anyone's career or life, I always look forward to that.
For mid to senior women professionals, in today's age, what do you feel are some of the most critical skills for them to really carry at the workplace?
That's interesting. So, if you look at the role as they transition from mid to senior level, or if they're looking to transition, there are definitely few aspects that I will highlight. Is one, when they are starting from an individual contributor to a manager, you're expected to go deeper into the domain, understand the domain and nuances really, really well. So you are a subject matter expert. But beyond that, as you look to step towards the leadership role, you need to start acquiring multiple other skills and competencies, which gets you a 360-degree view of how an organization or a business performs. So generalizing it, moving from more specialized to generalized, also is one of the most critical aspect. Second, that I would say is, in the role of a leadership, you will also have to understand that execute sometimes leaders have to wear multiple hats. Sometimes you have to strategize, sometimes you have to the way I work is sometimes I also have to get my hands dirty. You just have to be ready for it, but also be mindful that you're not overstepping on someone else and not making them feel uncomfortable. At the end of the day, you don't have to be executioners, but as long as you're empowering your team and understand that empowerment and delegation does not mean that your role is not needed in the organization, but in fact that you are looking at more challenging opportunities to be solved for in the business, that goes a long way. And the other thing that I strongly believe in is anti values. Anti values is something that unconsciously we get into that zone of being very territorial, of not cross collaborating, taking one incident and making that as a baggage, and foregoing relationships. Uh, as you grow higher up, relationships are very, very important. Not only within your team, with your peers, cross departments, regional to global. So continue to talk to more people, understand their department's vision and deliverables, and that's what will help individual get a complete perspective of how a business operates. So I'll keep it to these three, but there are lots, but I'll keep it to these three.
So, when we look at you, Ramya, you're of course a well-established leader in your industry. How do you, how do you prioritize between work-life balance and, or how do you maintain that while maintaining your leadership responsibilities as well?
Yeah, it is not easy, Rahul. Whoever said that, you know, you will have to integrate work and personal life. I have not been able to see how it can integrate. To me, I will give you a sneak peek into my life. I'm an early riser. My day starts at 3 in the morning. It goes on till about 10:30 in the night. The reason I do that is when people feel, honestly, this is not sustainable. But what gets me going is before my kids wake up, I have my day planned. Do a little bit of a reading, take care of your physical health, take care of your mental well-being, and then you get into your meetings and everything. But there is also a fine line that there are few hours, that power hours, home focus time, that you have to set aside, so people know that that's your personal space and they will not be able to invade, but you're available for rest of the, I don't know, whatever, 10 hours or 12 hours, you're still accessible. So that's something I practice. To me, it's multiple things. One is being there for my family, for my kids when they really need. Second is also taking care of myself. That's most important as well. So that way, I'm not letting the team down who are looking up to me. And third one is when I am at work, no matter what happens, I'm only focused on work. So that way, you have your priorities chart. The other thing that I also tell leaders is always look at your calendar. If your calendar is not a reflection of your priorities that you're working with your leader, then somewhere you're setting yourself up for failure. Sometimes leaders want to do a lot of things. Less is also more, is what I keep reminding myself. So yeah, planning, time management, being very clear about your personal time and your official time, and taking care of yourself is practice.
Wow, very interesting. In your organization at MiQ, as a leader, how do you foster this culture of diversity and inclusion?
Yeah, if you looked up about MIQ, Rahul, we talk a lot about diversity and inclusion is not just about gender for us. It's also about underrepresented community. It's also about neurodivergent talent. It's also about how we giving opportunities for LGBTQ employees. So there's a lot of other perspectives, and we have been doing this for, I think, for the last 5 years. And what we also do is we share an idea report that we share year over year, which talks about what is our pay parity between male and female. What is the gender gap that exists in our workforce composition? How are we trying to solve some of those? Apart from that, we also do a lot of sensitization. So the multiple initiatives, I'll walk you through one of a few of these. One is sensitizing our own people that number of opportunities provided to leaders is also important. The reason I say that is I can have 10 open roles, and if for all of these positions I get 90% of male profiles and 10% of female profiles, the pipeline in itself is restricting the opportunity. So we look at that as a data. Second is also we are currently at about 33% diversity ratio. We want to get it to 40%. So what we are doing is we're also giving in opportunities for people, women return to workforce, and not making it too complex for them, giving them part-time opportunities so they're able to inculcate back. But while all of these interventions help us move the diversity numbers, retaining the talent and reminding people about unconscious bias is something that we constantly work towards. For example, in performance management reviews, we take a look at what percentage of our female and male employees are in meets expectations, role models, what's some of the challenges that is kind of hindering female employees to perform better. We have those deeper conversations with our leaders. Second is also we are a strong believer in if someone's going on a maternity leave and if she is ready for a promotion, give her that promotion before she's going on maternity leave. These are smaller aspects, Rahul, but it goes a long way in building trust with our employees. The third aspect is also we sensitize our male employees a lot through pride programs, through neurodivergent programs about a day in a life of a neurodivergent. Recently, we have every year we do a Hack IQ event. My apologies, it's not Hack IQ, Olympics event, and through Olympics we have series of cricket, football, all of these various other matches, basketball and all. And this year we also brought in ability IQ. Ability IQ is where you are a specially challenged person, you act like one and experience their day. So we sensitize people around that. Apart from that, even for the LGBTQ hiring that we want to do here, we are partnering with vendors who can come in and train our people. And there could be some biases that may exist, or stigma, so we want to break all of those. So for us, it's not about just giving them the opportunities, but through the employee journey, we look at what could be the possible biases that exist where we need to sensitize people. We also look at a lot of data around, are we moving the needle in the diversity ratio? Are we moving the needle in pay parity? We do studies with external partners on how are other organizations doing and where can we upscale our benefits. So there are a few things.
To the participants for the program of women in business leaders, as a mentor, what do you feel are the top 2 areas where you feel, without knowing the participants yet, you can contribute to their life?
One, probably I can share my experiences when I went through, when I transitioned from managerial to leadership to an executive role. So they could probably learn a few from those experiences, but also, in those experiences, what I personally look for, if I were to be one of them, is, can I truly incorporate that in the role that I play today? So I do want to talk about how realistic it is, because sometimes it is also very, very situational. And just because I see something, I hear something, I can't come back and implement it. So we need to be a little sensitive around that. Second is also, to me, I think we speak a lot about creating a balanced world. And this probably is one of the areas where we want to, in some fashion, give back to the community to help future leaders or future women management folks to step into the role of leadership by saying, you don't have to feel, one thing that we all hear is it's lonely at the top. I don't believe it's lonely at the top. If you are coming with the right set of values, if you have a community that truly believes in you and trusts you. So I do want to give them that exposure of how does it truly work in a leadership and an executive role.
Super. You mentioned 33% and going to a 40% in terms of, the workforce. I think that's a great number. Not a lot of organizations have such a large number, to be honest, right now.
Yeah.
Where do you feel the role of women leaders? How do you feel organizations who are going and targeting these numbers of increasing, where do you feel are the real benefits of having women leaders at the top?
I think one is they're being open to diverse perspectives, and I'll also be clear, when companies say they're being open to bring more female leaders, what roles are they trying to bring in is something that I closely want to look at. Because let's talk about independent directors. Right now, there is a rule that in every board there needs to be an independent director, from a female independent director. And people, I did see a range, and there was an uptick in female population going through ID courses and certifications, but that's not an easy role to be in with the risks that comes with it. So I think we need to be practical on what role the companies are trying to bring female leaders in. Second is also, when they provide that opportunity, we also need to be mindful that how much of a weightage or a voice do they really carry in that portfolio or in that meeting. If it is just having for representation, I don't see a value. But to me, it feels it is a table stakes. We need to be given the opportunity, but also the voice once the opportunity has been given for the female leaders.
Just the last one adjective question. How would you describe yourself in one adjective, Ramya?
two words are coming in mind. I'll hold off because, but I will say bold.
Good.
Yeah.
Super. Thank you so much, Ramya, for joining us and being a mentor. We look forward to meeting you at some of the mentorship programs that we're about to do. Thanks again for your time. Love this candid conversation.
Thanks, Rahul. It's great catching up with you as always, and I look forward to these sessions.